how is the federal government going to support these communities and the identification of these grave sites?
Yeah, inevitably, that's the next step, Evan. We'll, as this information continues to shock the conscience of Canadians and Indigenous peoples living in Canada, we'll be there every step of the way, first and foremost with the people of Williams Lake that are going through a difficult time period. But as more discoveries are inevitably made, the next step, if they want to do so, will be to continue that search. They only searched 14 hectares of about a 400-hectare site, and then proceed along their protocols, contacting brother and sister communities to work with them respectfully as to how to proceed with potential exhumation of bodies. But that is a step that will be up to them to take, and we'll be there every step of the way along with the BC government in this case.
Minister, now we've seen Kamloops, the discovery of over 200 unmarked graves there, 750 unmarked graves at Cowessus. We were warned there would be more now, at least 50 here, maybe more of the 93. In how many more sites might Canada, how many more sites are there to discover, sir? What is the government prepared for?
Well, as you well know, Evan, there are well over 100 residential schools. Each community is taking their decision and making some very difficult calls as to whether to search those sites. We have money to support them and expertise of the Canadian government or provincial governments that come to bear disclosing of information. So we'll be there at the community's pace. I know that answer can sound frustrating to people that are in search for answers, but what the TRC tells us is that we have to work at the pace of those communities. Let's not forget that Canada, together with the churches, is responsible for this, so we can't dictate the terms for sure.
You say working with Canada and the churches. Documents, how fast are these nations going to get all the documentation required to identify these remains?
Well, they identified today in the press conference a series of documents that they're still looking with respect to St. Joseph's mission. Clearly, there is a wide swath of documentation out there. As terms of Canada's responsibility, we'll continue to push our partners to disclose more provincial entities, religious entities, but we need to do our share as well, and that's part of the work that I've undertaken to do. We turned over 11 narratives just last week, but we'll continue to scour the government, the internal workings of the government, to make sure that we're proceeding in a transparent and open fashion with respect to requests from communities, alongside, obviously, the NCTR in Winnipeg.
Minister Miller, I really appreciate you jumping on. I know it's been another difficult day for all Canadians, and specifically for the people in the community. And there'll be many more dark days ahead. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Evan.